Hello, we are Geeks Assembled, and today I'm joined by Susan and Ethan, and we will be talking a 1971 movie starring the one and only Sir Michael Caine. This movie, of course, is Get Carter, based on the book entitled Jack's Return Home, a story of revenge. Jack has returned up north, back to his roots from spending all his time down south in the London way, again, being a London gangster, to find out who killed his brother up in it was Newcastle, wasn't it? It was it was Newcastle. I knew the accent was sort of wrong that way. And there's a few famous faces in this. It's a movie of finding out the truth and going out for revenge in a gritty sort of British way of doing it. So without further ado, who should we go? Should we go ladies first? Let's go ladies first. Over to you, Ethan. No, I'm only kidding. Over to Susan.
First time seeing it, and fantastic movie, fun to watch, really tough, really brutal. It's really, really northern. It's really gray and almost monochromatic in some ways, and it's just because all the architecture that they're spinning around is brutal, except for the little houses. The little houses aren't, but the rest of it is, and it's a story of a really wonderful revenge plot by this fellow to get the guys who killed his brother, and his brother was killed, and I anyway, yeah, it was great. It was sexy in places, and really really great music, good soundtrack. I mean, and yeah, I guess great music. So anyway, yeah, that's basically my opening thoughts. I don't really. I mean, I don't have much to say because I really. Now that you guys have got me thinking, I don't know what I've seen actually. So, go ahead, spill the beans.
Well, thank you, Susan, for your opening thoughts there. Now we'll go over to Ethan with his opening thoughts, and I'll rejoin the cast back in about 30 minutes. Over to you, Ethan.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, it's one of those 70s movies. If those who know me, when you've got a great 70s movie that I love, you've got a real masterpiece of a 70s movie, and this is one of them. This is probably one of my favorite gangster movies of all time, and it's one of the British movies of that time where I think gangster movies were at its best, because you had about many years later in the early 80s, you had The Long Good Friday with Bob Hoskins, Mona Lisa, which kind of was as well, and around about those 70s and 80s, we had some really good British gangster movies where they were all classy, wearing the suits and all that, and it was gritty. It was almost noir, like neo-noir, and really dark. And it's a great movie. And as soon as that intro picks up with him in the skyscraper in London, watching the pornographic movie with his sort of boss or mates or something, and that music kicks in, it sets the tone. It really sets the tone, and instantly it just sets you in with, like, they're watching this porno movie. He's the quiet one in a way, and then it just instantly saying his brother's dead. It just picks up straight away, and it just hooks you in. As Susan said, it's got such a great soundtrack. As soon as that music piece kicks off in the train, I love, anybody who knows me knows I love that kind of sort of funk music, sort of jazzy funk music. Oh, I love it. It's brilliant. You could just have a whiskey and sit at night just to, like, listen to it. But and Sir Michael Caine in it this is one of his best movies, in my opinion. This is one of his best and darkest movies. Actually, there were only one or two bits. I forgot how dark it was. I've seen this movie many times, but there was a few bits where it is really dark. But that's what I love about 70s movies, where they did go further. They really were quite far, especially like certain things he finds out about a certain young girl he knows. They went pretty far with that. But that's what makes it a great film. It's gritty, it's dark, it's pretty realistic. It's got great sets, great shots of Newcastle and London, just those kind of sets like the 70s. It's just got such a great atmosphere and look, and so dark. And there's so many famous actors in this, including a super young, I've forgotten how young he is, and Lee knows who I'm going to mention here. I keep forgetting how young he is in this. It's
he's forgot his name.
I know. Alan Armstrong. Oh, honestly, I've been busy today, so my mind goes off and off and off, which is nothing new, I know. But a very young Alan Armstrong. Is that how you pronounce his name? Alan
Armstrong, yeah.
Alan Armstrong. Super young, which is his first debut in this. So many famous actors. Geraldine Moffat, Bernard Hepton. Mm-hmm. Who else? Britt Eklund.
Yeah.
George Sewell, who's been in tons of things.
Britt Eklund wasn't in it very much.
No, but she was in it.
Yeah, she was still in it. Tony Beckler, Ian Hendry. Tons of people in this.
And also, if you're a fan of Coronation Street, of a young Brian Moseley.
Yep.
Who later went on to play the corner shopkeeper for nearly 30 odd years in Coronation Street, Alf Robert.
Yeah. So there's so many big actors in this, which if you know your British movies and TV shows, you've seen them in everything. It's movies like this I always love, because I was, as I just said earlier, but like Taxi Driver, Long Good Friday, Mona Lisa, and even though this is like, it's a modern one, Joker, but it's got that 70s vibe and style with the music and everything. It's just that style. I love that kind of style where it's just dark and gritty, and you get those moments where there's no talking in it. And there's just no talking, it's just music, and let the film play and see for yourself. But yeah, it's a fantastic gangster movie. Really one of the best. I love it every time I watch it. And it is, like we said, it's a story about revenge, about finding out his brother, what happened. But along the way, it gets, as revenge stories go, it gets worse and worse. In a way, he finds out all these other horrific things with his niece/daughter, and then of course, the guy's going after him and stuff, and all the other things he finds out, and revenge. There was a saying, but it's gone from my head. It's more on the lines: revenge always leads to the path of the end.
Mm.
which, as it does with many revenge films, if you go down the path of revenge, be sure to dig your own grave.
Well, yeah, well, he didn't. Someone else did it
Well, he
for him.
didn't. He didn't. But it's still like something will come for you in the end if you're not careful. Which, yeah, it's a dark ending, but it's still a great movie. And not every ending's a happy ending. I love dark endings, which fit well with the movie or a story. So overall, yeah, I love this film. Absolutely love it. Still loved it the many times I watched it. Loved it now. So brilliant film.
Thank you, Ethan. I've got to agree. I mean, I haven't seen this for a while. I popped the disc in the player during the week, and as soon as that theme tune starts, dude, you're there. You're on the rhythm of the train, aren't you? It's brilliantly done, and it, as Ethan says, it sets up the tone for just this gritty revenge story, and I agree with what you said earlier about it being the color. The color. It was like monochrome. It was the early 70s. This was when all these new blocks of flats and masonettes and multi-story car parks were being built. It was just grey concrete buildings.
But the architecture is called brutal architecture. That's the architecture style.
Yeah, and many cities in the UK, and most probably in the US as well, was overwhelmed with them. And it was, and this is how they mostly did. I think that's how they got to film in the multi-story car park, because it mostly hadn't even been opened yet, mostly newly built. But yeah, it was just dark and grey. The buildings were, and it set off the atmosphere of the movie. As I said, great cast. Ethan's mentioned Alan Armstrong. I mean, here's a little tidbit for you, because I know Susan likes Doctor Who little tidbits. George Sewell, who played one of the gangsters, was it Remembrance of the
Daleks?
Yes, played a villain in that, and also his partner in this, the other villain, Tony Beckley, who played Pete, the one with the gun.
Oh yeah,
he played another villain in the classic Doctor Who, Harrison Chase, in Seeds of Doom.
Oh yeah.
So there's a little connection.
About that.
Yeah, I mean, you had Glyn Edwards in this as Albert. Everybody knows him from playing Dave in Minder.
Yeah.
Who else was there? I say Brick Eklund was there in her a sexy little role, shall we just say? But it's the way this movie. It's just the way it's rough. It's the way the men treat the women and the women treat the men in this. But that's how it used to happen back then. Like one scene where it's Michael Caine's character. I'm just going to take these two guys up to my bedroom. Go make a cup of tea. Go make a pot of tea.
But I couldn't help but laugh at that bit, because that was there back in the day. Because
and like another one, I mean, one where he was it Margaret? I think it was Margaret, where he just hit her across the face. And that, to me, that looked like a real slap. But if you want realism in a movie,
and then the one that he put in the car, in the boot of the car, and then she gets drowned. She gets run into by the other car, and then
drowned again.
Well, every villain in this movie got the comeuppance.
Oh, they do.
Be it death or by going to prison. I mean, especially the one who got arrested, the gangland boss, or what's his name, Kinnear, the one who Eric worked for. They were playing cards in the movie. Kinnear. Cyril Kinnear, yeah. He was played by John Osborne. Now, John Osborne is more famous for being a playwright. Look Back in Anger, and The Entertainer. He's a well famous playwright, but in this he was acting, playing a gangland boss. I mean,
he was good at it.
He was good at it. Yeah. Which not many playwrights have sort of crossed over to the screen to act. I can think of him and Noel Coward. I'm trying to think of some others. There must be a couple more, but those are the main two. But yeah, it's just the way, it's just so, I'll keep using this word, gritty.
Well, that's it. It's gritty is awesome. And when done right, it is even more awesome.
Yeah. So, shall we go to favourite things about it, or things what you weren't so keen on? And there might be some things you're not keen on, the way, the roles were depicted in this. So we'll go to Susan.
All right. Well, my favorite scenes or my favorite things about this movie were the sexy bits, the lady who owned the B&B sitting there in a rocking chair as Carter is literally having phone sex with the Britt Eklund character Anna, and then Anna's husband comes in and she says, "I'm just doing my exercises," and he is. I mean, I don't know how they didn't write Carter having a wank at the same time. I mean, there was just literally that was and then all the scenes of the porn movie being shown were not sexy, but the sexy things that were going on around that, in the bathtub, and oh my gosh, I mean that was sexy, and then it got brutal in the bathtub, and then the one where she is what's her name? I can't remember. Anyway, go. The sexy bits are my favorite, and the music is sexy. The music is not porn sexy, but cool sexy.
I like cool sexy.
And this isn't mod. This isn't awesome. This isn't like Austin Powers. This isn't like James Bond. This is I guess you'd say real people having real sex with, real faces, not superstars or supermodels. It's just, even though Moffat, Geraldine Moffat, even though they're not super made up, and they're not in their evening gowns, they're in just
sexy lingerie
knickers anyway, and they're wearing purple knickers, so yeah, I'll show you that in a second.
Excuse me.
Disassemble R-rated review.
This is our R-rated review. See, purple knickers. Although that's a black bra, so anyway.
Thank God, I thought Susan was going to reveal her knickers then, but there we go.
No, that's my job. Yeah.
Get Carter. Yeah, and I'd like to remind my podcast mates that I need them to spill the beans about Jay, I think it is. So please, next person who speaks must reveal.
as long as it's not his knickers. Well, well then, Ethan, over to you.
Okay, over to you.
No, over
Right,
to
before
you.
I get to Jay, yep. Before I get to Jay, I'll mention my favorite moments. Yeah, a lot of my favorite moments in this. I was thinking Ballister's going to be big. Was all the bad guys getting their comeuppance? And when villains get good comeuppance, it's brilliant. Yeah, there was just so many great comeuppances in this, like Brumby getting beaten to death and then just chucked over into the car. Blood everywhere. A great gunfight on the pier with the Con and his colleague shooting him down. You know, two birds. Talk about two birds hit with one stone. You know, this guy shot down right for that. Oh no, knock your car down. There goes the missus, the woman they locked to the boot. She went down as well. I like I've said I love the intro. I love the intro, the whole intro from the start on the when he's like watched a porno film, and then on the train, where across from him is a certain guy who is there from the start, a fellow train passenger who just so happens to be smoking, who just so happens to be the hitman at the end, known as Jay. So that's who he was. That's who.
On the train. On the train. Jay was on the train with
Yep.
Carter?
Yes.
Right
Yes.
at the beginning.
Right at the
on
beginning,
the
he was
Well,
there from the, he's
he was
there.
reading
Don't
his book.
sass me, guys. This is not funny.
No,
Really?
that's
When he was
him.
reading his book, across him there was another guy sat smoking a cigarette, and that was Jay.
That was
Could
Jay,
you-
the
Could
hitman.
you see him later in bed smoking a cigarette? The same guy.
And he was there. So he was there from the very start, all the way through the movie, watching all of them, and then hunted him down. That's Jay.
So Jay wasn't hired by Cyril.
Yes, he was,
Yeah, he was. He was hired by Cyril.
but he
Because,
was
of course-
he was there from the beginning of the movie.
I don't fucking know. Whatever.
Yep. So anyway,
You
yeah.
know, who's us going to go back now and watch the beginning of it?
Right, let's
to
have a
see
look at this. Boom.
and then go to think where Jay's on the, getting his job. Anyway, back to you, please.
Yeah. So, like I said, the intro. I love the bit with Brumby's henchman. Yeah, I think they were his henchman. Or was it Kinners? But the henchman, when outside the bed and breakfast, what's his name? Thorpe. Yeah, Thorpe. I love the fight scene between that, how it builds up. I mean, it's the shots I like and the effects. It's so nostalgic and brilliant. You know, from where he goes, right, get him. Guy goes out, kicks the door, head smashed through the window. Then the guy dragged along and stuff like that, chasing Thorpe to the disco, the old 70s disco line. Again, I just love the setting of this. I mean, it's a movie that I think is just best for the 70s. I think they did a remake, but I think that's in an alternate dimension or something. But
It's in the
Alex
bag.
said that it starred Sylvester Stallone,
Yeah.
and it had a cameo of Michael Caine for a split second.
Yeah, it did.
yeah,
Never remake them.
yeah.
Oh, and he said that there was a blaxploitation version as well. And that's the style of movie that this is kind of like in America. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that bit with Thorpe. The sexy scenes, yeah. Of course, I like. But it's already been mentioned. Michael Caine talking to Britt Eklund on the phone. Yes, I do like that. I like a dark film that does a good dark sexy scene. I like. He sleeps with the owner of the bed and breakfast, you know, wakes up and she says, like, do you want breakfast? Do you want breakfast? You must be joking. I don't have I never have breakfast. Trying to think. I mean, I've just picked certain scenes and stuff like that because, of course, I know you guys will do your bits. I mean, of course, you know, the ending, the whole climax. It's just a brilliant build-up with him walking on the pier with a shotgun, and the music is great as well. I mean, I've always said a movie and a TV show or any kind of story is made greater with a great soundtrack that you notice, because the soundtrack in itself is a character. It's like the soundtrack's a character in itself, and it goes well with like the music goes well with each scene, and the ending, the climax. Michael Caine walking along, ready to get is it Eric? Yeah, Eric. Ready to get Eric, and it's cutting back and forth with the body found in the lake, and you know, the final villain sort of getting his comeuppance, you know, the gang getting arrested, and it's cutting back and forth, and the music's building and building and building while he's chased him along the beach, and then forces him to drink the bottle of whiskey, and then just bashes his head in with that shotgun, puts him in the dumpster, going along, and just falls into the sea. You know, and it's just brilliant. It's just such a great climax, and it's like with a lot of movies at that time, or like a lot of movies like this, you think that's it, that's him, but then you almost think, no, hold on, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen, and of course, shot down by Jay. So they all die at the end in a way. You know, but it's those are my favorite scenes. Oh, I do like but yeah, just so many great scenes in there. I do like my last one I'll say is, I just remembered it. I just like it's a little tiny scene. And I think because of the music as well. And I've said I love scenes where there's no dialogue, it's just music, and for you to see. Where Michael Caine's in the bed and breakfast, just looking around, goes upstairs, and he finds his brother. You know, his brother covered. Well, but his brother in the coffin, and the music kicks in. And he's just looking, you know, and covers his face. I just quite like that scene. I think because I just quite like acting scenes like that where there's just music and it's just for you to see. But I think those are my favorite scenes. It's just a great film. You know, there's so many great scenes, but those are the scenes I picked. So, you know, there's no fault in it. There's no bad scenes in this for me. I mean, I just do love when he finds the porn. It's a tough scene. It's a tough scene when he finds his niece / daughter in the porn film, and you just see the anger building and building and building in his face, going from upset to anger, fear, and upset, until finally, slowly up the stairs, and he just drowns that woman. He's just out for revenge, big time, even more angry, and just he kills what's the guy name? Albert Swift. Yeah, kills him with a knife. It's brilliant scenes. So those are my favorite scenes. So over to you guys.
Yeah, you haven't left me anything.
I've just realised. I thought I'm just going to pick my own scenes here and stuff like that. Oh, there's this bit actually. I quite like that bit. Oh, there's this bit I quite like. I can see Lee's face just going. You've just said the whole fucking movie.
Well, yeah, I was going to mention the Albert scene, because I think that's a brilliant scene where Albert says, "I didn't kill him. I didn't kill him," and he just says, "I know you didn't," and he still stabbed him. Just showing Carter's brutality. He didn't kill his brother, but he still killed Albert. Also, I say Margaret's comeuppance as well, where he drugs her, makes her get undressed, drugs her, and then dumps her in the pond or the the thing to frame the gang boss, but he's already framed him anyway because he sent the porn movie to the Vice Squad. So there's that as well. So he pre-planned, but and the other thing is as you say, back then I don't think, and if nobody had seen this movie back then when it was at the cinema, I don't think they saw the ending coming. As you know, they all thought, he's got rid of all the bad guys, and all of a sudden, bang, there he is laid on the beach with a bullet in the head. I don't think anybody saw that coming unless they'd read the book a couple of years before. But it's really done though. There was another scene, the Albert scene, the Margaret scene. You've mentioned the Brumby over the thingy. What was the other one? The Alan Armstrong scene where he leaves him with the landlady while he goes out, and then he comes back, and they bring back, they drag the young kid off, beat him up. So he goes to see him. There he is laid on the bed, all covered in blood, beaten up, and he's having a right go at him, you bastard, all that. You knew they would come back, and there he is, just giving him money, and he went, "Get yourself some karate lessons." You heartless bastard. But yeah, it's such a good movie. And I think it's the British movies at the best is like when it's like this. I think we can do stuff like this, and if you've got actors like good actors like Michael Caine and all the other actors in this, you can't go wrong. And if you set it in a realistic environment, it makes it work even better. So anything else what anybody likes to say?
Yeah, it's sort of like Train Spotting, and it's like Full Monty. I mean, it's like there's a gritty edge to having to deal with just life, and it's a slice of life, and the scenes that you guys didn't mention were the gambling scenes, the horse racing scenes, and this poker game, and I mean it was like everything was a gamble in this. I mean it was probably used as just a metaphor, but it really worked. It was a really good. There were some really good high stakes things going on, and I guess the highest was Cyril and how he was, manipulating basically this whole family. So yeah, and there was the box of his brother going around and around and around.
Yeah, his ashes, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it,
Yeah.
what was it? What did he say to his niece when we later found her daughter? What was it? Treat yourself to it. Get your hair done. He was flush with his money. Get your hair done. And then another bit of advice is, don't trust boys.
Don't trust boys.
Yeah.
But here's your money.
I didn't know that. I guess I didn't suss out that she was his daughter. I have to watch this again. I'm apparently
You don't have to sit out because Armstrong's character yells at him when he's laid on the bed as he goes out of his room. He didn't even know she wasn't his daughter. So then you think, oh, hold on a minute. He's been having an affair with his brother's wife.
Yeah.
So Jack Carter is a nasty piece of work, really.
Yeah.
No.
So there's no good people in this. There's no good people.
Not a sausage.
Yeah. Anything else? What anybody like to say before we go to final say and score? Right then. Go on then, Ethan.
Well, as you said, when we do great British movies like this with great actors, to me, this is one of the best. I mean, it's up there with Long Good Friday, Mona Lisa, Train Spotting. What's the other one I really like that's British? Oh, Dead Man's Shoes.
Layer Cake.
Layer Cake as well. Yep, Layer Cake's great. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
But you know, it's gritty, dark, like proper gritty, dark films like this. Like the first sort of 4 or 5 I mentioned, where they are really gritty and dark.
Life on Mars.
Life on Mars. Well, that's a TV show. That's a science fiction show. So, but
Brutality of the Police. Oh my God.
But so it's a 10 out of 10 from me. You know, for a great gangster film, this is one of the best gangster movies and one of the most realistic. So it's a full 10 out of 10 shotguns.
Right, and now we're gonna go over to Susan.
I will agree. You can't beat a really gritty British drama. There's like nothing sweeter or finer than the toughness of British, the brutality of the British thing that goes on. The only thing that's similar in the U.S. is the blaxploitation, because that's slice of life. It's very gritty. It's very urban. It's a lot. It's a lot the same. Let me tell you though, the Michael Caine experience is in its own world a fantastic thing. I mean, the Italian Job. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. You know, he is iconic.
That's one of the best movies ever. I love that film.
And
what was that one? Ask them about the Michael Caine movies. I can't remember. What's the name? What's the series where they had like the James Bond production team, but it was Michael Caine as a spy from the 60s?
Is there a Michael Caine as a spy 60s?
Yeah.
Harry Palmer.
Yeah, there you go.
Harry Palmer. Okay, anyway. So yeah, Michael Caine. I mean, so I'll give this 10 sexy purple knickers out of 10. Yeah! I'm getting laughs.
That sounded a bit too exciting.
That's the best response I've had in these podcasts yet. Yay.
Well, thank you, Susan, for your purple knickers again. And you've got to give a big thumbs up to Roy Budd, who did the themes tune.
Music. That's music.
And there is a video of him playing it live.
Ooh, I'll check that out.
Using 3 instruments, keyboards.
That
haunting theme tune is a classic, a movie classic. And so is this movie. I can't fault anything about this. So for me, it's 10 naked Michael Caine's holding his shotgun in the air. There you go. I've just upped.
I was going to say, I think that's upped ours. It was a shotgun. Oh, lingerie. Oh, and then Michael Caine. Oh.
You don't want it going off half cocked. So. So
no wonder he looked so moody in that shot.
So I mean, that the old woman next door, the next door neighbour, got an eyeful.
She was brilliant.
She definitely wasn't looking at the shotgun. I made sure. I was like,
It was perfectly edited. So thank you guys for talking Get Carter. I really enjoyed this one to sit down and watch this movie. You guys out there, please let us know what you thought of the movie, what you thought of the cast. Leave a comment below. Leaving the comments below, I'm assuming you'll be watching this on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And also, if you want notification every time we put up a wonderful, wonderful video, press the bell notification and you'll get a little something like that, what needs a bit of oil on it. Yeah, Ethan's little dinger's fallen off. And we won't talk about Ethan's little dinger anymore. Yes. Please, guys, if you want to be on the cast, leave a comment, get in touch. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're everywhere. Leave a comment, or please can I be on, or get in touch with me, or get in touch with someone who's on the cast, and they'll pass the message on. Because we like fresh blood every now and again. So I think that's us done, isn't it? So until next time, be safe. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.